Hi, thank you for joining me on Dr. Susan Coaching for today's live video. I'll be here every Monday at 1 o'clock and I'm happy to see you. Today we're going to talk about managing your anger and how to do better problem solving with your kids. So first, let's talk about what happens when you're angry with your kids. Are you a screamer? Unfortunately, I am, and I have to admit it because my kids would tell you it's true. But the most important thing is that I've really improved over time, and I always apologize when I catch myself and when I'm done being angry. Or are you the kind of person who threatens dire consequences? I'm going to take away your phone for a week, no desserts for a year, or before the pandemic, I'm going to ground you for a month. The most important thing is, what do you do afterwards? Because obviously those consequences are unrealistic. And then you have to deal with your kid or teenager pouting, throwing tantrums, and begging you to get off the punishment. All too often we give in and then we lose all authority as a parent. So what do we do instead? The most important thing, and you've heard of this before, is we need to count to 10 before we speak so that we give ourselves time to calm down. But if we're really full of rage, then sometimes you have to count to 10,000. What does that look like? It means that we need to step away from the situation and give ourselves time to take a break. And so that might mean taking quiet time, I call it. It's like a timeout for parents. And so we go into a separate room, maybe our bedroom, we close the door, maybe we talk to our partner or spouse, if they're also home working remotely right now, and talk over what we want to do instead of yelling or threatening inappropriate consequences. The really important thing for this is to have a plan. Think about what's the appropriate consequence that matches the behavior. So if the siblings are fighting, you might think about what's an appropriate way to help them resolve the situation instead of you always having to come in and separate them, getting them to look for a way to work things out. My kids would tell you always that I said to them, if you get me involved in resolving this situation, the consequences are always going to be worse than if you work it out yourselves. Or if you've asked them to clean up their toys, for example, and they balk at doing it or put you off, you don't want to get involved in doing the cleanup. So you have to have a consequence. You need to clean up your toys before you go on to the next thing or what's going to happen next. Another situation might be that they've spoken to you disrespectfully and name calling is involved. And instead of getting angry and name calling back, what are going to be the consequences for speaking disrespectfully? Perhaps they need to have a break, leave the room until they're able to speak respectfully to you. The really important thing about taking these times out is that you're able to calm down, get control of your emotions, and then come back and speak quietly and calmly and do problem solving with your kid or teenager. One easy tip about this to remember is set a timer so that your child or teenager knows that they're going to be expected to come back and speak calmly and work things out with you. Have your teenager set a timer on their phone, perhaps just 5 or 10 minutes, so that they know what the expectation is. I hope these tips were helpful to you. You'll find them every Monday at Dr. Susan Coaching on a Facebook Live. You'll also find them every Sunday on my LinkedIn at Susan L. Blumberg, PhD, or follow me at Instagram, also at Dr. Susan Coaching. I look forward to meeting you here again. Bye.